If you were born anywhere during the mid-2000s, you've probably heard of The Amazing World of Gumball in some capacity. This show was my childhood, and I can vividly remember waking up early on Saturday mornings, running downstairs, and watching Cartoon Network for pretty much the entire day. Cartoon Network's catalog was large at the time, rest in peace, and although I enjoyed almost every show on there was one show in particular that I would always look forward to the most, The Amazing World of Gumball. As a kid, I was never really allowed to watch SpongeBob. My mom always thought the show was too childish and that the humor was so idiotic that it would genuinely make me dumber. The Amazing World of Gumball, on the other hand, completely fair game. I don't really know why, but I've always been watching Cartoon Network from as early as I can remember, and while all my friends were getting deep into SpongeBob and Patrick's weekly adventures in Bikini Bottom, my 8-year-old brain was getting inundated with this silly little city of Elmore. To me, Gumball felt unique for its time, and it took all of these fresh and well-written characters and put them into engaging stories that I could watch over and over and over again. I've seen pretty much every episode of this show twice over, and when I say this show is innovative, I mean it. With close to 250 episodes and an IMDb score of 8.4, this show is one of the greats of the mid-2010s. Gumball also found the perfect recipe of being episodic while still maintaining a through line of character development and plot points to keep an engaging story. The Watersons are completely dysfunctional too, and these insane scenarios, albeit completely disconnected from reality, are ones that I think a lot of people can relate to. Family dynamics are complicated, and that's something Gumball puts on display really well. Although each of these episodes are completely ridiculous, there's ironically a strong moral message behind each of them. From tackling the issue of responsibility in the episode like The Pony, where Gumball must let go of the judgment of others to ultimately help his sister, to dealing with setting boundaries and talking through misunderstandings and friendships in an episode like The One, almost every episode of The Amazing World of Gumball tackles some form of life experience and how to become a better or worse person because of it. The show can be very deep at times, leaning more into developing characters and understanding why characters act the way they do. Some of the best examples of this are in the Origins episodes, where Darwin's backstory is explored and we understand the power of familial love and not giving up on one another, and especially in the Choices episode, where we get a deep loving backstory about how Nicole and Richard are meant to be together no matter how messed up and chaotic their life can be. The show knows how to not pull any punches. It can be complex, leaving you with moments where you can't help but get emotional, and it can also be deeply comical, leaving you with stupid jokes that I still look back on and laugh at today.
Make a wallet sound. Wallet. That's not the sound a wallet makes. You do it then if you're so... Actually, that was really good.
Gumball really found the perfect mix of being a comedy that you can turn your brain off and laugh at, while still having a subtle social commentary that adds another layer to an already three-dimensional comedy. Mixed animation was also something Gumball did very well. From 3D characters like Banana Joe, Bobbert, and Alan, to hand-drawn ones like Gumball, Darwin, and Anais, to whatever sussy might be considered, The Amazing World of Gumball probably has some of the best mixed animation use in cartoons in recent years. If you thought Smiling Friends did a good job of finding absurdity in animation, just wait till you see what a kids show did almost 10 years earlier. There's an episode called The Ollie, where Gumball tries to convince Darwin he knows how to skate, although in reality, he has no experience in skating outside of understanding the social aspect of what it means to be, quote, a skater. This in turn gets them into a situation where they're flying down the freeway, going through multiple different states of animation. Gumball also has an entire episode called The Console, which is entirely in the style of an RPG, taking aspects like idle animations, health bars, and completely 8-bit scenes, and it feels like the creative team just wanted to make something genuinely unique. There are so many more examples of the creative team behind this show being given free rein to make whatever they feel can be the best art possible, and it's ridiculously impressive how many times they go so hard for absolutely no reason at all. Putting so much effort into small details that the average viewer base of Cartoon Network won't appreciate at the time, but will look back on and smile at, is a testament to the creativity of the show and how much of a legacy this show has left behind. With Season 7 coming later this year, it's clear this show has had an impact. So much so that after being off the air for close to 6 years, a studio so devoid of any spirit like Warner Brothers is willing to bring back arguably one of the greatest animated comedies of all time. Gumball was right on the nose of everything happening socially, providing commentary on what it's like to grow up in today's current age on the internet, while still making it so stupid and satirical that even a dumb kid like me could watch this show and recognize there was something special happening behind the scenes that was keeping me engaged. I think a lot of people can relate to the story of what Gumball has behind it, from watching the sibling dynamics of a love-hate relationship, to watching parents learn how to become better people through their children, to watching the Waterson children learn how to navigate the social world as kids online. Gumball not only provides a satirical outlook on the human condition, but also provides deep, compelling stories that find a perfect balance between comedy and building a cohesive narrative. While a show today like Smiling Friends feels like it pulls direct inspiration from the intent of what Gumball had behind it, albeit being way more adult, nothing will ever top that feeling of going downstairs on the weekends and realizing Gumball is on all morning. Now, being in college, it's funny looking back on the little things like a stupid little show like this and how much of an impact it undoubtedly had on my life. Gumball encapsulates everything great about creative freedom and why Cartoon Network has stood the test of time. Their shows are timeless, and they give full creative freedom to the creative teams behind each show. Even today, with the fan base of shows such as Regular Show and Adventure Time all grown up, those lessons and feelings of watching those characters develop on screen with you are something that lives inside of you forever, no matter how old you get. Even now, after being almost 1,000 miles away from the TV screen that I first started watching these silly little cartoons on, I can't help but look back and think about how good of a show Gumball was for the time and how much I grew as a person because the people behind these shows genuinely cared to make something great for everyone. Cartoon Network's legacy remains strong, and with new writers and animators who grew up watching shows like Gumball now getting their shot, I can't wait to see what stories by the next generation of future creatives are given the green light next.